watching the 2025-26 SCAC Basketball Media Days. Today, we're taking a dive into the University of St. Thomas women's basketball program. The Celts will be led as they head into the season under the guidance of head coach Mansa, along with leadership from senior Amyia Bowie. And Coach Amyia, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having us.
thank you for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Coach, we'll open things up with you. This team is coming off such a fantastic season last year, a jump from 7 wins to 14, the most wins since that 2019-2020 season with this program, back into the SCAC tournament. You and your staff named SCAC Coaching Staff of the Year. Where have you seen the biggest growth with your program as you head into year 3 through these first 2 seasons? Just how excited to be back at the start of a new year and continuing to build this group going forward.
You said it exactly. We're really excited. One of the things and the big shifts that I've seen is just in the growth of my leadership, and the girls. I can't praise them enough for doing the work to become what we call agents of change. They've really changed from the inside out. It wasn't just on the floor, they changed in the classroom. We've seen our team GPA skyrocket. We've seen our self-confidence skyrocket. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm really proud of. Through the course of the season, as we were winning games, we were also just becoming stronger mentally, becoming stronger. And more confident in ourselves off the floor. And then we were really just excelling in all aspects. And so I'm really, really proud of that, of that growth that we saw from the inside out, the holistic piece of the girls. And that really made me feel like they were going to be moving in the right direction, whether we won games or we didn't.
Amyia, like I said, this team is coming off such a fantastic season. I know this is a big year for you going into your senior year. I'm interested just from a student athlete perspective. How did that success last year kind of shape the off season this year? How do you kind of embrace the success you have, but use that as motivation? And what's kind of been the chemistry of this group as you started to come together early on in this preseason and get ready to start this new year?
The chemistry of this group has been going very well. We income the newcomers, and we have been trying to get them to come along and grow with our culture that we've been building since Coach L has been here. So really just focus on doing the little things, being strong mentally on and off the court, and learning how to grow through adversity.
Coach, you talk about all the excitement that this team, went through over the course of last season. And then we look ahead to this year. We returned so much experience from that success last year. 4 of 5 all-conference performers, certainly starting with Amyia sitting next to you, returned 4 of your top 5, scorers in terms of points per game return last year. You have 4 athletes that started 10 or more games, coming back to this season. So with that experience off of the success this group had, how does that kind of change your sort of starting point of the season? How much confidence does it give you and your staff as a coaching group, having kind of the experience come back? Does that help sort of with the start of this preseason going into the year?
Yeah, it was a huge help, and as a process-oriented staff, it was sometimes it can be hard when you don't get the product right away. And so in those first 2 years, while everyone's sitting back saying we're not where we're supposed to be, we're not where we're supposed to be. But then we kind of look at the whole piece and say, we are where we need to be. And even though we have a lot of newcomers coming with this, and we're bringing them along with our experience piece that you talk about, we're trying to make sure that we stay process oriented, and understand that the newcomers that we have and the leadership that we've returned, those leaders are just making sure that they understand the process, understand that the little things that we do every single day, the pieces of our culture, they made us who we are. They gave us the success that we had last year. And so it's been a great help to have leadership this year, whereas in the last few seasons, we didn't have people that knew exactly what we wanted. And so it's hard to get everybody to understand. But when you have, people running around practice working for you, being able to stop, explain on the sidelines. It's like having extra coaches with us on the staff. And so it's been a great help. Our starting point has increased each year till we're starting at a different level. And that's just part of that process. We're further along in the process than we were before, but it's still a process. And the biggest thing that I do want our returners to understand is that you can't live off the success that you had last year. You can't live off the success that you had 2 hours ago. We've got to be making sure we're moving in the right direction every single day, and we still can't afford bad days because no one is going to praise you forever. You've got to prove that you deserve to be here and deserve to be in that spot daily. And so we'll see, just how far we can go with our process mindset.
Amyia, you're coming off of a fantastic season a year ago that saw you earn third team all SCAC honors. You led the conference in both assists per game and steals per game as well. What drives you at both ends of the floor? How have you continued to push yourself? I saw you shaking your head when Coach L was talking about how this group continues to push itself and not live off the success. So how have you kind of taken that message to heart and continued to grow your game coming into your senior year?
Well, I just try to do everything possible to help my team win. If I'm not having a positive impact in the game, I need to do something other than scoring the ball. So getting my teammates involved, getting extra possessions for my teammates, getting steals and deflections will help the team just have easy buckets and transition. I feel like this year I wanted to grow my mentality of being stronger, mentally tougher, don't allow things to affect me on and off the court. And just when I come into the game, it's only one goal, and that's to win the game and do whatever I need to do to win the game. So if it's just the little things, I try to do anything necessary that helps my team in the long run.
Could you talk about sort of this building process and being, at a different starting point this year than where you were when you first stepped onto campus? So with all that being said, every season is a new challenge. What's been kind of the focus with this group this year heading into 25, 26, as you say in your own words, are at a different starting point. So the challenges, I'm sure, are different. What's been that message going into the year?
Over the beginning of the first year and the beginning of the second year, our biggest issue was lack of confidence. And so not understanding how to win. And so now with year three, having won last year, the issue isn't not knowing how to win. It's understanding that you're not guaranteed to win. And so that has been the with this group is because winning became an expectation. At first, winning was out of reach. We didn't even believe that winning was possible. And then after we won, it was winning as an expectation. And then at the turning point of that became, well, now I can relax. And here comes complacency. And so now this year with this preseason, it's winning is not promised. We cannot be complacent. And there are pressures that come along with the expectation of winning, and that first pressure must come for yourself. And so that's been, the daily reminder for us is just knowing that we're the one that must put the most pressure on ourselves, and there's an expectation that comes along with being a winning team.
Amyia, finally wrapping up with you. It's just been fun to hear, both you and Coach talk about kind of the excitement coming into this season because of the hard work that you and your teammates have put in over these last few seasons. So with that being said, and that expectation sort of shifting there in Houston at UST, what are some of the goals that this group has going into this 2025-26 season? And what's going to be key in order for you and your teammates to go out and accomplish those once the season kicks off?
The ultimate end goal is to win a conference tournament, make it to nationals. But otherwise, like this team, we just have to speak positively into ourselves, have great team chemistry on and off the court. And so building the trust between us is just the main goals. And winning will come along with it as long as we trust in within each other and have each other's backs. Like we're sisters, so we should love on each other. I mean, have those tough conversations with each other, but in the end goal, know that we love each other, and it's all for the end goal of winning and trying to accomplish not making it to the conference tournament, but actually winning in the conference tournament and trying to win that championship.
Finally, Coach, as we wrap up with you, just giving you the final word here for the fans of UST when they're coming out to the Jack this fall and this winter to support this group. What have you seen from this team? You have such a unique perspective being with them day in and day out. What have you learned about them that has you fired up? It's fun to hear, leaders like Amyia talk about the mindset of this team. It is very exciting around campus right now. What just giving you the final word to set up the season for this group going into the year?
I mean, look, we are excited. We've got homecoming coming up on the 8th, and it's going to be our first test and to show the campus and everyone in the community exactly how hard we've been working, and exactly what we're bringing from last year to this year. And the one thing, if anyone sees the girls or coaches around, just tell them that you're proud of their growth because I couldn't be more proud. If we never played another game of basketball, I'd be extremely proud of how far these girls have gone. And I'm just excited to see just how far our leadership is going to take us this year.
University of St. Thomas head women's basketball coach Mansa L, along with leadership from senior Amyia Bowie. Coach L and the Celts open up the 2025-26 campaign on homecoming Saturday, November 8th, when they host Texas A&M International. Coach Amyia, thanks so much for your time today and best of luck as you continue to move forward throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you.